Hi Reddit Recapped here. Today we are going to tell you a collection of stories titled "What is the most significant you f***ed with the wrong person moment you've witnessed or experienced?" Enjoy our community's stories. As always, stay safe and take care. My father recently told me this story about this asshat who works driving trucks for different distributors. They have no smoking areas since food productions etc. But this asshole decided to smoke there anyway, putting his butts out in a styrofoam cup. Anyway, after a while his truck was loaded and decided to just throw the cup out the window after getting in his truck when a man walked past and asks him calmly to pick the cup up and put it in the bin, to which this intellectual giant of a driver says, "If it's so important, why don't you put it in the bin before driving off?" Without making much of a reaction, he picked it up, walked to the bin, then made his way back inside. When my father gets back to the main truck depot, he sees this driver getting yelled at by his boss. Turns out there was a conference being held with some overseas members of the company and the CEO of which was told to pick up the cup. They instantly barred the driver from the site and all associated sites, and my father's boss had to jump through hoops to not lose the contract renewal. I can't imagine the level of ecstasy that CEO would have felt during the whole situation, knowing that this prick doesn't know who he is. When I was a senior in high school, I was at some house party. There was this chick named Rachel there, a notoriously crazy who was known for causing trouble anywhere she went. She was also a pretty big girl, maybe 5 feet 9 inches, broad shoulders. Anyway, out of nowhere she just starts screaming at another girl, Sarah, a shorter, skinny thing, who was seriously on the other side of the room doing absolutely nothing. Rachel gets up in her face, starts cursing her out, pushing her multiple times, obviously just trying to start for the hell of it. Rachel finally decides to throw a punch, and not, like a flash of light, Sarah just launches at Rachel, starts beating the living out of her face, knocks her on her ass and strongly holds Rachel's hair and starts slamming her skull on the brick fireplace in the house. I think she must have knocked Rachel out for a minute, because Sarah decided she was done and just stood up and walked away. Turns out Sarah's older sister was a competitive female boxer, and showed her a thing or two about fighting. My father and his brother, who are both 6 feet 6 inches, were riding in my uncle's tiny little Chevette, and a guy on the road raged and chased them into a parking lot. You could almost see the guy fill his pants when they unfolded themselves out of the car. 2 drunk guys were bugging this local busker, trying to get him to fight them, saying all sorts of racist stuff. The busker was black. The busker just lost it. Obviously he had to deal with a ton of drunk assholes. He picked up his guitar and hit one of the drunk guys across the face with it. I called the police when I saw it, and later got called in to give evidence against the drunk guys, who got arrested, saying that they started it. 2 kids, about 11 years old, were bullying this 9-year-old kid by instigating their little sister to go hit and kick him, with the threat that they would beat him with a hockey stick if he retaliated. The poor 9-year-old pleaded with them to stop, but when they wouldn't, he charged the kid with the hockey stick, took it from him, chased them off, threw the stick over the fence and continued to saunter home. I witnessed this from about 50 feet away at age 13. It took place in about a minute, and while I was contemplating a way to help the kid out, he just took matters into his own hands like AG. That little kid was not the one to f with. When I was about 10 or so, I shot a cricket with a Nerf gun from a prone position, and it dodged it then jumped at me, and I got up and panicked so fast, the gun flung from my hand into the kitchen, breaking a few glasses. Never f with crickets again. This marks the end of the collection of stories titled "What is the most significant you f***ed with the wrong person moment you've witnessed or experienced?" I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe to see more videos like this. Turn on your notifications and leave a comment to help the channel grow.